Welcome to Out of the Rough. I'm Fred Arnold. In this show, we're going to highlight opportunities and solutions to help get you out of the rough and into success, both personally and professionally. In these tough economic times, I want to provide you practical solutions to many of today's challenges. And today, I want to label this Life Abundance Show. I'm here with Alex Urbina. Alex Urbina is, he's an expert when it comes to life abundance. Alex Urbina is the host on AM 1220 KHTS, a show called Life Leadership. Started your career in 1995, coaching youth, your passion?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually started coaching professionals and trying to create extraordinary results for themselves in their personal and professional lives. But my passion led me to kids. I felt connected to kids, and I wanted to be able to create a future for them. And I want to be able to make a difference in the world. So that's why I started down that path. But that's my niche.
Yeah, kids they absorb so much. And I know on the next after the break, we're going to talk specifically about kids. But one thing I'm excited to read, and that is the book, soon to be author, the book, The Conscious Dad. Because as dads, we need to be very conscious because we're big influencers on our children.
Absolutely. I think that at a certain point, we forget as fathers what our main role is. We think that it's about, bringing home the bacon, so to speak, bringing the finances and that kind of stuff. But we forget that our kids really need us. They need more from us. They need emotional intelligence. And I think they're calling for it in us in today's world.
Yeah. Looking forward to that. I want to talk about something that we've talked about off air before, and that is living in possibilities. Possibilities you don't believe. People always say midlife crisis, I'd rather be doing this, I'd rather be doing that, but they don't have the confidence, they don't know where to start, or they don't believe in themselves. Let's talk about possibilities.
Well, my job is to create possibilities for people, have them live in the world of unlimited possibilities. And you ask, what does that mean? Possibility is just being open to something different, a different perspective. And so my job is to create new perspectives for people, because if you have a limited perspective, you're only going to be able to see certain things inside that box. And if you can only see inside that box, you're only going to make choices inside that box, and you're only going to create results that operate inside that box. And so my job is, from the outside looking in, I'm able to have you dream a little bit. I'm able to paint the picture that maybe you can't see. And I think that's where the personal power comes from, is when you're able to now coach yourself and be able to dream bigger and be able to see things that you weren't able to see yesterday. I think that's where personal power comes from, and that's what I do best.
And one of the keys to it is having someone like yourself bring out those possibilities and show you there are additional possibilities, because there's a lot that we don't know that we don't know.
That's right.
And if you can get out of that segment of living where you don't know, boy, it opens up a whole new world.
That's right. There are things that we know, and there are things that we don't know. And then there's things that we don't know that we don't know. It's a whole nother world. Yeah. And I think that's where champions live. They live swimming around in the pool of, I need to figure out what it is that I don't know that I don't know. It's a whole new realm. And so if we can explore that, and I love exploring that with people, because when you're able to have those aha or realization moments is where you start to now see clear. You get some clarity on life.
Now, some of the challenges when you're doing these brainstorming sessions, some of the challenges you run into are the past that these people have lived. So they're living in the past, or they're believing that is only their future.
That's right. We as human beings, we bring our past to every new moment. We taint the new moment of possibilities.
We taint it.
We taint it because we're bringing our fears, our doubts, our insecurities into because now is just a big fat moment of unlimited possibilities. And when we bring our baggage into it, it's like we bring all our toys into the living room and we spread them out, and now it's cluttered. And so we can't see possibilities. So my job is to help you clean up those toys, put them back in its bag, and throw it behind you so we can live here now and start to reinvent ourselves, start to create something new, something different.
Something that, it's interesting, something that you believe you maybe in the back of your mind you could do, but others doubted, so therefore you adopted that.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. Let's talk about beliefs.
Okay.
How do you get someone to change their belief after so many years?
I think that, it starts off with you being aware that you have limiting beliefs. I mean, not all beliefs are bad. We have positive beliefs. But I want to focus on the self-limiting beliefs that you might have created from your past. And my job is to point those out, because you can't see them. They're transparent. And if I can point them out and call you on them, if I can challenge you on them, now all of a sudden you go, oh, wow, I never saw that before. I never realized that I keep picking the same men or women in my life, and I keep sabotaging all my relationships, or I keep bringing my fear or my unworthiness into all my relationships, and no wonder why I'm now 7 divorces later. So I point those things out and have you make sense of them.
Yeah, and it's about taking personal responsibility. What's the difference between knowing something internally versus believing it? Because I always think, okay, if I believe I'm powerful and I just believe that way, my ego's taken over versus really knowing it inside. Tell me the difference, because sometimes that gets clouded.
Yeah, I think we need to start somewhere. So if you've ever heard the term fake it till you make it, that's the starting point for most people. It's changing your beliefs, shifting your beliefs to believe in something. And usually we use affirmations that we remind ourselves, I am amazing, I am powerful, I am creative. And that's a belief. And we keep saying that to ourselves over and over, or we look at certain signs that we create to remind us every morning as we get up and we're changing. And so we're conditioning our brain, our ego, to believe that. Well, one day, if you do that long enough, consistently, you're going to become it. Your spirit's going to recognize it and say, yes, attaboy, that's who you've always been. And so that's the journey of unconscious living, or living your life to become more conscious every day.
Unconscious awareness, I think, would be the one thing. And it's interesting you say that, because if you wrote down the belief that I'm let's say, a powerful, compassionate, loving, humbled man or woman or whatever that is, right? There's always humility when you're doing that. You always think back and there's humility. So some people might say, well, if I write those things, boy, I'm going to be high on my horse. But in reality, when you go through this, you're really looking at things to make you a better person.
I think that, society has taught us, and especially growing up, you're little, your parents tell you to be givers, focus out on other people, not to acknowledge yourself because that's arrogant. And I think that when you're acknowledging it from a spiritual level, it's not arrogant. It's clarity. It's authenticity. As long as you're not walking around beating yourself in your chest, reminding everybody how amazing you are.
Like the football players when they pound their chest after a touchdown.
That's right. That's right. But, when you know who you are, you don't have to go around explaining to people that that's who you are. Mm-hmm. That's where the humbleness comes from. But when you're believing you're that and you're trying to be that, that's when you walk around reminding people that you're that. And then there's a transition period where after you do that long enough, the ego starts to surrender, and then now you just become that person. But you don't have to go around telling people how awesome or amazing you are.
Right, the spirit just comes out. And
it's just who you are. It's like being a man. I don't have to go around telling people I'm a man. You just know it. It's knowing.
Right.
Yeah.
We're going to jump to a quick break and talk about children. But before then, those who want to reach out to you?
661-505-5021. And it's funny because on my show I give out numbers and I always challenge people to call me because my phone doesn't ring off the hook, and I don't know what it is. I think people are afraid to get themselves to the next level, or they tell themselves I'm okay. And if I'm okay is okay with you, then I'm okay with it.
But instead, be great with Alex Urbina. We're going to jump to a quick break, and we'll be right back.